We know the majority of people who need care are not getting it. There's never been a greater need, and the tools available have never been as sophisticated as they are now. And it's not about how can we get people in the clinic, it's how can we actually get some of these tools out of the clinic and into the hands of people.
Allison Darcy, a research psychologist and entrepreneur, decided to use her background in coding and therapy to build something she believes can help people in need, a mental health chatbot she named Woebot.
Like Woe Is Me.
Woe is me.
Woebot is an app on your phone, kind of a pocket therapist that uses the text function to help manage problems like depression, anxiety, addiction, and loneliness, and do it on the run.
So, about a month ago, we heard that story about this mental health app that's going to use these AI-powered chatbots to help people with anxiety, depression, all sorts of other mental health issues. And I thought, well, that sounds nice. I think it's crazy. It's an app. It's not a person. How could me as a person, I have to be trained, I have to go to school, I've got to get licensed, I got all these things. And somehow this woman who is trained makes this bot, and all of a sudden, voila, this is woe is me, right? So fast forward to today, and Bloomberg is reporting that OpenAI has come up with a set of 5 levels to track its progress towards building artificial intelligence software that's capable of outperforming humans. Now, OpenAI, their latest effort is to help people better understand their thinking and what the future and safety of AI looks like. The ChatGPT maker, which is OpenAI, they're seen by many as the leader in this race to build a more powerful AI system. And it goes on in Bloomberg about this. But what I find interesting is, can we really, A, how do you measure it? And B, how do you actually do it? How do you make artificial intelligence that is kind of human level on the reasoning scale or the problem-solving scale? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I don't even know if that problem fits in my head. But Matt Rosen is the founder and CEO of Aleda, and he's here to answer some of those questions. Matt Rosen.
Hey, good evening, Rich. Thank you for having me on the show this evening.
Welcome. Thank you, Matt. Now, I want to get your take on this because, I mean, you're the founder and CEO of a company that deals with this stuff. I'm just a critic on the sidelines. But when I hear that, A, that they were using it in a mental health app, or B, that OpenAI is now saying we're at, level 2 of 5 where we think we're going to outperform humans and be human level in our reasoning and problem-solving ability, maybe on mathematics and things like that. Those are very, I'm going to say, finite or concrete things. But there's other things that are, not, that I think require emotion and whatnot. But what's your take on this?
Yeah, so the field of AI is, it's moving very quickly. But a lot of the models and the theories and things that are coming into practice, these have been around since the 1950s and further refined in the 80s and 90s. The challenge has been we've never had the computing power like we do today that Amazon and Microsoft has given us. And so that's allowed us to really take a lot of these theories and bring them into action. And so the world kind of awoke to what these models were capable of in November of 2022 when OpenAI, launched ChatGPT out there to the public. And it was fascinating. It reached 100 million users very, very quickly, and people started to see the power of what these models could do. But at the end of the day, these large language models, they're predictors. You feed them lots of information, and they predict what word's going to come next. And so where AI has been pretty useful to date has been in automating routine tasks. It's been analyzing vast amounts of information and creating, some insights. And it's also good at creating starting points for stories, for images, for videos. That's where we're at today. And a lot of people are playing with them. A lot of consumers are using them at work. In fact, there's many corporations that really haven't incorporated them into their workflows because they're scared of what it'll do with their data. But you got people at work left and right using it to do everything from write emails to generate code. So AI is here to stay. What you asked about OpenAI, their next generation, is really based on a model called Q-learning, where the AI kind of teaches itself and reinforces itself. This is functionality that got leaked. It's supposed to come out later this year. I think it's going to have a long way to go before AI can really think and reason and have emotion and understand how to interact with the physical world. And I think a lot of it is hyped up by the media and, advertising that is much further ahead than it really is.
Okay. That's, good. I appreciate hearing that, because I would hate to think that the folks in your world, in the world of IT, and understand and use AI more often than I do, would be of the mind that, this is great. We're replacing everybody. And I know in my industry, not talk radio so much, but music radio has been using it for a couple of years, where they have these AI-generated voices, and they say, coming up next, it's, blah, blah, blah by the Stone Temple Pilots, name of a song. They give the traffic and weather, very quick updates, and then they go into the song, and you can run a whole music radio station based off of automation and AI. That hasn't happened in talk radio yet, but I would suspect that they're on their way to trying to create that type of format, and it just makes me think, what does the world look like if we replace so much of human labor with AI?
So, my theory is that AI is not going to replace people's jobs. AI is not coming for your job, but someone using AI is coming for your job. So, at Aleda, we do a lot to help organizations really understand how this technology is going to impact their business, really looking at what are the opportunities, threats, and then we really help them trial it out, in different applications they have to try and figure out where it's actually going to work and be useful. And so when I think about, talk radio, there's a lot you do to prepare for a show. There's a lot of entertainment value. It's a lot of personality. It's a lot of emotion. It's about connecting with listeners. I don't see AI replacing you anytime soon, but I think there's a lot of ways you could use AI, like if you were to feed an AI model every show you'd ever done and then ask it questions about who are the most interesting interviewers or what are some topics I haven't talked about. I really look at AI as a really powerful tool to help us be more effective and more creative as humans. Now, if you do the same thing over and over again, or you don't use a lot of critical thought, or you aren't particularly good at your job, you are at risk from AI. But I think for the majority of fields out there, we can talk about that, AI is going to make us better at what we do. It is not going to take our place. Humans and computers have always been better together. It's like every technology revolution from the assembly line to the internet. Everyone's always scared that it's going to take their jobs away. But what happens is a whole new field of jobs is created. Some jobs are lost, but many more are often created that are leveraging the value that the new technology provides.
Yeah, and that's a reality of life, right? And I love that you made the example of the assembly line, because this was something that is similar to refrigeration, right? Before refrigeration, there was an iceman, and he brought this block of ice for the ice box, and those guys all lost their jobs when we came up with, electronic or electric refrigeration. But that made life better for everybody. I can't think of anybody, maybe except the guy who delivered ice, that would disagree with the statement that refrigerators made life better for everybody, less disease, longer food storage times, etc. So similar to the assembly line, more production, everybody, new jobs for people, not necessarily the same jobs for people. So I get that part, and I think that's your outlook is a safe one. But what about these Dr. Evil types that are out there that want AI to do everything else that maybe the rest of us don't intend to? Do you think they're in the majority? They're in the minority? I've seen them in healthcare. There's a lot of very aggressive, or I should say ambitious people out there that want AI to do a whole lot more than I think the general public is willing to accept, or is that, again, a manufactured outrage from the media?
I think things always get hyped up to be worse or better than they're going to be, and I think the outcomes always end up being generally neutral. I think for the Iceman, hopefully he learned to work on ice makers, because mine is always broken. So if he learned how to work on ice makers and refrigerators, he probably still has a job. He just had to adapt his skills from delivering ice to working on the machines that produce them. But there are always bad actors out there that are going to try and use the technology to either create deep fakes to potentially blackmail someone, or to try and scam people at least once a week. Every CEO I know gets a call from an employee saying, "Hey, did you just ask me to buy a bunch of gift certificates at Walmart and send them to you?" It's like, no, that was probably an AI trying to hack you. And so I think from hacking schemes to cybercrime, I think there are some bad actors out there, and that's one of the reasons we really have to invest in AI, because AI can help protect us from AI. Interestingly enough, and so I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure we're staying ahead of some of these bad actors, really using AI for good, because there's always going to be, some bad actors out there that are going to try and, do evil things with whatever things they have at their disposal. But I think that's definitely in the minority. I think as it relates to Silicon Valley, I think you have organizations like OpenAI that are actually developing this technology way faster than humans in organizations are able to uptake it. It's almost like as soon as we build something, there's a new model coming out that we have to learn how to work with. So I almost think the technology is moving faster than humanity's ability to adapt to it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Even with the features on my phone and the social media in my phone, it seems harder and harder to use every day. I want to make sure you have an opportunity to let everybody know how they could find you and keep up to speed with the work that you do, so let them know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So my company, Aleta, spelled A-L-L-A-T-A. You can go to my website at aleta.com. We've got a whole page out there about artificial intelligence, what we do with it, some of the case studies. We've been able to, help a number of our clients really understand how to leverage the technology. It's allowed us to be more productive in what we do and helping our clients. You can also go to my LinkedIn. It's at Matt Rosen. You can find me there. So if you were listening into the show tonight, would like to take the discussion further, I'd love to hear from you.
Outstanding. Folks, check him out. Matt Rosen, founder and CEO of Aleta. And Matt, I want to thank you for being with us tonight. A busy day with the big hacking thing that went on to everything else that's going on. So I appreciate you making the time. Not hacking, I should say, the big IT outage.
The big outage with CrowdStrike and Microsoft. That was really tough on a lot of clients. Most of them are recovering. But thank you so much for having on the show this evening.
My pleasure. Thanks. Hope to have you back soon. Take care. God bless.